It's your global gourmet chef Susie G here. That's G as in goddess of my kitchen. I'm here welcoming you to an episode on one of my favorite appetizers, made with chickpeas, also known as garbanzo beans. And I'm going to make for you the classic dish hummus. It's a great appetizer and it's eaten all over the Mediterranean regions and the Middle East. Popular in Israel, Lebanon, Syria, Turkey, Egypt, and the USA. I can't tell you, I've been to practically every grocery store and I have seen hummus everywhere. It's very popular. And I want to share with you my recipe of hummus made from scratch. It's so easy and so delicious. And I have a way of presenting it that is just heavenly. In order to make our hummus from scratch, I take 2 cups of chickpeas, and it's so easy instead of the canned stuff because you don't know how long it's been sitting in the metal, and I want to know what's going into my body. So I like to take fresh chickpeas and I like to put water. I take 2 cups of dried chickpeas and I put water in it overnight. And the next morning I stick it in a pot and I let it boil and turn down the heat and cover it and cook it on medium for about 2 hours. And basically the chickpeas will double in volume, and you want to cook it very slowly covered until they're soft. So when you put your finger on it, they just they get soft. So it's ready to blend. So once it's cooled, I like to add about a teaspoon of salt to this and a packet of stevia. Sometimes I use a half a packet. What it does is it balances the acidity of the lemon, and it provides a really nice balance of sweet, just a hint of it. So I added that to my garbanzo beans, and we are ready to make our hummus. So what I want to do is I want to start slowly by lemon juice. I add garlic, and I add tahini, which is really, you can find it in any international section of any grocery store. It's the ground paste of the sesame seed. So I'm going to use that, all 3, to blend first. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cut my lemons, and I want about 3/4 of a cup. You can use more. I'm not very picky about how much lemon juice. It doesn't matter exactly how much lemon juice. It's within your personal preference. So I'm going to squeeze my lemons and get nice juice out. Hummus is one of the best protein sources, and it's so refreshing, especially when you try it homemade. So I found my antique juicer. Isn't it gorgeous? It's depression glass. Cooking is relaxing. It's so fun. I get to see what's going on in my body too. Good food with good people and good friends equals a great life. So then I just keep adding. So you don't want to get those seeds out of the way. So I have a strainer on top. So we're going to add a little bit of lemon juice to our blender. I'd say I work in small batches because you don't want to overexert the blender and the power. So you want to work in small batches for the hummus. And then what I like to do is I like to use about 5 cloves of garlic. And just peel the bottom off so I release all the garlic cloves from the base. And it makes it easier to just pull them out. Also, when you're shopping for garlic, always look for something firm and nothing with green sprouts growing on top, because it's over its prime, and we don't want that. We want garlic that's firm to touch and nothing growing yet on it, growing out of it. There's 4. And if you like really garlicky hummus, you can add more. I sometimes even chop up bigger pieces at the end. And you know, garlic is very healthy for you. So, okay. It's about, oops. Okay, so I've got about 6, 2 small, 6, 1 teeny weeny one. So I save some with my lemon juice. And now we're ready to start making our hummus. You have your tahini ready. We don't want the canned garbanzo, we'll put that away. So we're going to add in small batches. You want to start liquidy on the bottom so it blends easy. And some of the juice that the garbanzo beans have cooked in with the stevia that I added and the salt, it's good. It works really nice. After it's cooled. Never make hummus when it's hot. Let the beans cool. I like to fill it like halfway through and work small portions. And then I start with grind and stop. Grind and stop. When you're doing this, sometimes the blender gets stuck, so it's nice to, whoo, look at that. Good thing I caught that. So it's good to kind of use a nice spatula, a nice strong spatula like this to kind of move things along when you get clogged. So it's kind of fun. So don't. You don't want something too watery and you don't want something too thick, otherwise the blender won't move. And I find that once you make the hummus and now it's moving. So once you start seeing it getting smoother, what I'd like to do is I'm going to add to the 2 cups of garbanzo beans, I'm going to add about 3/4 of a cup of tahini. Now you can add more because lemon juice and tahini are pretty good together. That's about 1/2 a cup. So it's really nice and smooth, like butter. And when you add the tahini, the hummus gets really light colored. It's the oil and the tahini, the ground sesame seeds all working together. So once you get that blended through, you can do a little test. That's pretty good. So what I like to do at this point is you can add a little more salt if you want. And in the recipe I have for you, I add about 1/4 a cup of olive oil, but we're going to add a little bit more at the top at the end, so when we present our hummus, so the top doesn't dry out. So you can gauge it. That's about a little bit there, and it helps blend everything together. So it's the tahini, the lemon juice, the olive oil. All working really nicely. Always remember to do this in small increments because you don't want to overheat the blender and you don't want to stuff it too high with the garbanzo. So once you have that ready to go, I get a nice flat dish like this to present the hummus. Okay, got most of that out there. All right. Okay, now my hummus is all blended. I blended the tahini, the lemon juice, the garlic cloves, and the garbanzo beans, and it's nice and smooth. And it's kind of like, really kind of like a cake batter like consistency. And once you stick it in the refrigerator, it'll get a little thicker and much more dense. But right now it's nice and creamy, just like I like it. And I like to do a little taste test. That's pretty good. Sometimes you might want to add a little more salt at this point, but I think we've got it. So what I like to do is, at this point, if I'm saving it for another day, I like to use one of my containers, and I like to put it in a ceramic dish with a nice glass top and save it in the refrigerator. Or if I'm having a dinner party and I want to serve my hummus with a good presentation, it's very special to present it in a very special way by putting certain toppings. And I like to use bell peppers, olives, sweet paprika, and some chopped parsley. And it takes only once to make a first impression. So when I serve my hummus, and this is very commonly done in parties all throughout the Holy Land and Israel, Middle East, is when you serve your hummus, you take it and you make it nice and flat on top, kind of like an artist's palette. Okay? So once that's done, just kind of make it, smooth it out. This is right, there we go. You put your spoon away. All right. It's like an artist's canvas. And then what I like to do is I like to decorate. And I like to take peppers and chop them up and use different colors, because people eat with their eyes. So it's a fun way to make a lasting impression, and it gives your hummus an extra zing. And it looks so beautiful when you decorate it. So I like to have my peppers all chopped up. I like to use orange and red because they're so beautiful. And the sweet peppers, these little mini peppers that you find at the grocery store, are so delicious. And just hold them all together and chop them up nice and fine. Sometimes I like to use whole garbanzo beans too at the edge. But once you have your ingredients that accompany the hummus, it's really, really beautiful.